Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is Brother Mustafa, and this is Mustafa's Boot Camp. Now this video is before you believe anything. Consider these 5 things. And this is what you should be looking for as you begin to believe whatever it is that you're going to believe. It doesn't matter. You can use these principles for religious, you can use these principles for secular out there in the world, anything that you're going to believe into. You know the old phrase, the old saying, seeing is believing. Have you heard that one? Well, I've heard it plenty of times, and believe me, friends, seeing is not believing. It's not believing. Think about what you believe, and just simply don't believe for the sake of believing. Did you get that? Think about what you believe, and don't believe for just the sake of believing. Don't simply follow others. I think the first thing that you need to consider is just don't simply follow somebody else. Don't follow the sheep, chances are they're going to go over to the edge of the cliff, You can use that as an analogy. If you've seen everybody line up at the edge of a cliff and they said they could fly, one of the things that you would stop and do is you would stop to think. What's going on here? Are these people actually going to fly, or what's going on? So those that are lined up and are jumping off the cliff are believing they can fly, right? But in all reality, they can't. So because you're convinced in something doesn't mean that it's true, all right? Truth doesn't depend on whether or not you're convinced in something. It depends on truth, scientific fact. It has to have some basis. You have to have some basis to base what you believe on. Now, a lot of people base what they believe on some false premise, and that's not good. And that's where I see a lot of people going down that trail, or a lot of people base their belief on emotionalism. Everybody's at a rally and everybody's getting excited, and and the speaker's talking, and he's so good at what he says, and everybody believes what he's saying, and it probably may not be true. It may not be true. So you've got to use your mind. You have to take in. You're going to have to take in, not follow the crowd, because most people do. For some reason or another, I guess it's easier to follow the crowd than to say, no, wait a minute, what are they doing? I'm not following that. Your friends will look at you and say, hey, what's the matter with you? Hey, we're all going over here, we're going to do this. Follow me. Follow me. It's harder to say, no, I'm not going. Doesn't look right. I'm not following you. So is what you're... number 2 is what you believe based on real facts or fiction or something that's false. Does it have real evidence connected to it? What you're believing, does it have some evidence connected to it? Scientific evidence, maybe historic evidence. You got to have some kind of evidence. You just can't believe things out of thin air. You can't do stuff like that. So it's got to have some evidence that you're basing your belief on. And I would say one of the things that you really need to be aware of and stay away from, and that's the salesman. Pastors, usually pastors are really good at selling something, like the gospel. I remember, as a pastor, and I remember we would always have an altar call. We were Southern Baptist Church, so we always had an altar call at the end of the message. And Renee, a girl that played the piano, she knew to keep playing the same line over and over, and we would sing "Just As I Am" maybe 20 times before, and somebody would get up and come down. So. A good salesman can get you to believe anything. I don't want to mention politicians, but I think we just got over one, and we just had one that could make you believe that they serve cherry pie on Mars, and everybody would follow to go to Mars. But was it true? It's not true. I mean, it's just a lot of baloney, and some people are good at dealing and dishing out baloney, believe me, and you can believe it. You know, car salesman. Oh, this car's in great shape. It's good. Look at this. Look at how it runs, and you know, look, the interior is beautiful, and the thing is a lemon. So he can get you to believe that it's a good car. Now, so what do you got going on there? You know, usually when you investigate these things, you find out that it's not true. So base your belief on something, some evidence, history, scientific. Don't base it on what people are doing or what people are saying. You're going to be in trouble that way. More often than not, you're going to be in trouble. This one is going to be hard to say. You know, I know we got an open forum here. You know, we invited atheists, we invited Christians, Jews, whatever religion you are, Muslims. Some people don't believe the same. And if you're an atheist, you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you next, and that's don't believe in the devil. You know, what the devil says, because he's out there, he's trying to convince people, and he's doing a good job of it, you know, and you don't even know it. You think it's that small voice that, hey, I got an idea. Yeah, where did that idea come from? What are you believing? Where is this idea from, see? And he's really good. He's really cunning at getting you to believe something. You know, he got in the garden there, as we read in Genesis, he totally convinced, you know, Eve about the apple. You know, she bit on it, bring it back to her husband, and he ate it, and whatever it was, an apple or whatever kind of fruit it was, or whatever was growing on that tree, we really don't know. But anyway, he snuckered her in on that, you know what I'm saying? And she believed what he said. Very gullible. Don't do that. Don't believe everything you hear. Don't believe everything you see, because it may not be true. I know in Islam we always got to have witnesses. I mean, if one person sees something, it's always best to have 2 or 3 witnesses. That way the possibility of seeing something that and getting to the bottom of the truth of it is better, because you got 3 people looking, and then you can look at your views later on. It's better than 1. You know, one witness is good, but 3 is better, believe me. So don't believe what the devil says. He's out there, he's cunning. The Christian scripture says he's a destroyer, he's there to deceive. And if you've ever lived, you know, depending on how long you lived, you're going to know that that's a fact. You think of some of the things that you came up with in your life, and you think of some of the things that you did, and you wonder where it came from. Did I think of that, or where did this come from, you know? But don't believe what he tries to put over onto you, okay? And after you do believe, this 5th point, probably a very important point, is stick to your guns. Now this is boot camp, so I added guns in there. So stick to your guns. Don't be blown around like the Christian scripture says, with every wind of doctrine, and today I'm going here, and tomorrow I'm going there, and the next day I'm going there. But base your belief on something that's either history, that's scientific, you know, some scientific study. People believe that today that the virus doesn't even exist. There's some people that believe that, believe it or not. And I was looking at the study and the survey onto that, and I was watching TV, and it said like 30 to 40%, and it's mostly in the Republican Party, don't even believe that there's a coronavirus. Don't even believe it. Don't believe it. And when they get sick, they land in a hospital, and they said, "What, you know, fix this up, whatever I got here," because, well, they say you got coronavirus, and they say, "No, I don't got coronavirus. It doesn't exist." So imagine that. I mean, 40%. That's incredible, absolutely incredible. So believism, you know, it can lead you down a false road. It can lead you down a false trail, you know. We have a saying in Islam, and it's usually in the beginning when somebody comes out with a message, and you know, it goes something like this. It's whomever Allah guides can't be misguided. I'll say that again. Whomever Allah guides can't be misguided. Whomever He allows to be misguided can't be guided. You know, stick that one in a place and save it for some day when you need it, because that's pretty well true. Whomever God guides can't be misguided if you're actually being guided. But whoever He allows to be misguided can't be guided. So there's wisdom in that saying right there. Absolute wisdom in that saying. Well, brothers and sisters, and whoever is watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. It's not going to be very long. It's not a real big subject. It's mostly common sense. But it seems like it's common sense that most people, and a lot of people, and even myself, didn't have at one time or another. You know, if we would go down this list and base what we believe on something instead of somebody, we'd have been a lot better off in life, you know. Listening to your friends. I know when you're a teenager and you listen to your friends, and I had some real rascals that were friends, and you get in trouble by listening to your friends. So don't base what you're believing on what they're saying, is what I'm trying to tell you. Base it on something tangible. Base it on evidence. Base it on scientific studies. Base it on histories. Base it on something instead of nothing. Don't believe for the sake of believing. I hope you understand. I hope you get that out of this message right here. Don't believe for the sake of believing. Believe what you believe. Act on what you believe. And practice what you believe. Don't be wishy-washy. After you figured it out, you know, don't be blowed around here and there, because that's the worst thing in the world, because now you're unstable, you see. Whenever you're blowed this way with the wind and that way and this way, and somebody says that and somebody says it, you know, that's instability. That's what that is. Don't go down that trail, okay? Well, assalamu alaikum. I hope you are doing well in this time. You know, we live in probably once in a lifetime. We're going to go through what we went through for the past year of basically isolation and fear and whatever else was connected with it. But it was a very real thing when 500,000 people die. I mean, that's something to take note of. And we have to listen to what the officials say, and we have to believe the evidence that they put forward, if there's any at all. I mean, believe the evidence, the scientific evidence. And I think this is going to be over with pretty soon. It looks like everybody's getting a vaccination. It looks like numbers are down and the pandemic is almost over. So, salaam alaikum, brothers, and take care. Wear your masks in a crowd. Don't cough in people's face. I always hate that when I go out. Somebody's always coughing. Don't do that. And we'll catch you on the next video. But before I go, I want to know what's under your turban. And I say that facetiously because you probably might not be wearing a turban. You might be wearing a ball hat or a kufi or whatever else. But you can contact me. You can write me an email at americanislam.ed@gmail.com or americanislam.ed@yahoo.com. I appreciate hearing from you. You can tell me what you think. All right, you can ask a question, and I appreciate it. And we get enough of them. I'm probably going to make a video on just the questions, and I'll have answers for what you asked. So don't forget, subscribe, like, and hit the bell, all right? And if you can, when I post these on Facebook, share them with somebody else. Share them with somebody. That way it gets the message out there. More people will be viewing it. All right. Salamu alaikum. You have a good day wherever you are. And may Allah bless whatever you do, the hands that are involved in doing. So, bye for now.